Alright, I'm going to show you how to create the fully dimensioned part drawing for your CAM. The first thing you're going to want to do is click and download our class drawing sheet. You're going to want to make sure you use this sheet instead of the sheets that are preloaded into Inventor, because this is set up for our class to use and the paper is the correct size. Alright, and so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click to put under the Place Views tab, we're going to click to put in a base view. And so when I do that, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find my part that I want to input into my drawing sheet here, the CAM that I designed, and I'll go ahead and click Open. When I do that, I see the CAM will appear on my sheet. What this is doing is it's allowing us to put in a base view for our CAM. And so it's going to decide how you modeled your object, what's the front view. If it doesn't look like the front view to you, you can use your view cube to change around the view until you get the appropriate front view for what you created. Alright, and so when you have that, and I'm going to use this one for mine, you can go ahead and I'm going to drag my mouse over to the right and it's going to project out the right side view. When I'm ready to place the right side view, I can just click with my mouse and it will place that view for me. I'm also going to come up here to the top right and I'm going to click, and what I'm going to do there is it's going to create an isometric view for the CAM we designed. Alright, when you have those three views on, you can go ahead and click OK. The next thing you're going to want to do is we are going to want to change this three-dimensional isometric view to be shaded. And so I'm going to hover over the part until it's selected with my mouse. I can right click and go to Edit View. And then under the Style section of the window that pops up, I'm going to go ahead and click to make that view shaded. When I do that, it will actually shade in that three-dimensional view. So in class, anytime that we have a three-dimensional view on our drawing sheet, we're going to want to make sure that that view is shaded. Okay. Now we can go ahead and start annotating our CAM. And so the first thing I'm going to do is click on the Annotate tab. These are all the tools that you can use to annotate your part drawings. The first one I'm going to use is the center mark. And so I'm going to click center mark and I'm going to put a center mark in for my hole. What that's going to allow me to do, it's going to allow me to be able to select the center of that hole for when I want to use that as a dimension. Okay. The tool that we're going to use to dimension most of the time is the dimension tool. So it's the first one under the Annotate tab. I can go ahead and click that, and then I can place all my dimensions that I need to fully communicate this part. You can use the dimension drawing sheet that you use to help design your CAM as a reference to know where to put the dimensions you need for your part. And so you can do that. I'll go ahead and click again the dimension tool and I'll start putting in my dimensions. Notice I can click a line or I can select a point when I'm dimensioning something. In this case, for my first dimension, I'm going to click that point, and I'm also going to click the center of my CAM, and that's my first dimension that I need to include for my snail CAM. Alright, the next one that I'm going to include is from this point here to the center, and I can go ahead and place that dimension in. I can then place a dimension for the circular diameter. So I'll go ahead and I can click and place that dimension in. It'll give me the diameter of that circle, or excuse me, the hole. And that takes care of the dimensions in the front view. So I'm going to hit Escape, and that will clear out the dimension command. And I'm just going to kind of adjust my views to make sure that everything's looking good and it's easy to read on my screen. The last view we need, the dimension we need, is the depth of our CAM, or the thickness of it. So I'm going to go ahead and click Dimension, and I'm going to click on, in this case, this line over here, and that's going to give us the depth of that CAM. All right. When you have that done, you're going to want to arrange your views so that your part drawing looks nice and neat. And once you have that done, you could go ahead and save it.